Growing up, I didn't really think about adoption much until I was probably in high school and college. I thought it would be something I would do later on after having younger children, grow up and out of the house, maybe taking in kids at that point. When we moved out to Wood Forest, like not even a year out living out here, I brought up the idea of adoption to Dean again, and it's something we talked about, or I had brought up for years, and he was not ever really responsive to it.
It really scared me, frankly. I thought, that's crazy. We've had our hands full with our 3 little ones, and we had decided to stop having kids. And so I didn't see where another kid fit into the picture, so it kind of scared me.
And then one Sunday in October, we sat down at church at Woods Edge at the time, and I sat on a card that said Orphan Care Solutions Conference. And so I remember handing the card to him and saying, I think we need to go to this.
And she'd been talking about it enough, and then we just so happened to sit on this card at church that particular day, and it's just like, okay, the persistence of God impressing upon her and then her impressing upon me, it's like, okay, I can at least go to this conference to learn more. It was really a pivotal moment for me at that point. Ashley knew the direction we needed to go, and I wasn't on board, but over time in these conversations we had, and then I agreed to go, I was just undone that conference. And I just remember, it's like that. I felt a small sense of God's grief for these kids. And I finally told Ashley, I was like, how can we not do something?
We entered into foster care with our eyes wide open and our hearts wide open, and it was extremely difficult. Our first placement was really hard. There were some extenuating circumstances with one of our biological children and one of the other children that just, it wasn't a good fit.
And Ashley and I were really kind of confused and just really kind of reeling a little bit. It's like, okay, Lord, it's like, we know that you called us to do this. So we spent a little time recovering. After about a month or so, we kind of started talking some more about it again. It's like, and just pressing into the Lord. And it's like, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
We got a call on May 19th. Actually, I had a friend text me to see if we were interested in having a 6-week-old girl. Were we open to that? She's a foster mom friend, and she was not able to take her in at the time. And I said, well, yes, yeah, we can take her. They called at 4:30 saying she's on her way. And I thought, what just happened? There's a baby coming to our home tonight and we have nothing.
By the time I got off work that night, I came home and there's a 6-week-old baby girl in my home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty unreal when you get a phone call and they say they're on their way with a baby and they show up. CPS shows up with this fragile little baby. You meet, you talk, you go over the information, and then they're out the door and you're left here with this little tiny human to care for. There's nothing like it for a stranger to drop off a stranger in your home that you don't know how long they're gonna be with you for. But within a few days of her being in our home, I had a fierce and intense love, like she was my own, that I couldn't create or manufacture, but I know that the Lord gave me for her. And same for our children. They just embraced her and loved her from the beginning.
It's a very humbling experience, knowing that this child's got nobody else. We're it.
We'd had Zoe in our home for almost a year, so that was the time for the trial to review what her parents had done or not done to get her back. And this big, huge musty courtroom. It just felt oppressive. And seeing her birth mother over in the corner, sectioned off. And I've had very little contact with her in a year. But my heart broke for her as a mother, knowing that she was about to lose her child, and that Zoe was about to lose that relationship with her birth mom, but she ended up relinquishing her rights.
I just felt compassionate for her, and I felt a sense of honor for her as well, because she chose life for this little girl. And that means a lot. It means a lot. And I could just see in her eyes, I know that she loves her. But she just couldn't take care of her.
So it's like 3 years of starting the foster care experience, and 3 years later to be at adoption with one little one is amazing. I just feel honored and blessed that we get to be her parents.
It's not always easy, like Ashley said. Sometimes it's just downright hard. You know, just to be able to step out in faith and step out in obedience to that call, it was frightening, but we wouldn't change anything, not even the hard stuff.